The industry as a whole is at a standstill right now. Okay. Oh, I gotta complain. Because one thing, I may not be good at a lot of things, and that's fine. I'm okay. I've come to accept that I'm not the best at everything, and I never will be, and that's okay. I'm not going to be a brain surgeon, Mom. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be a lawyer either. But what I am going to be is an independent filmmaker, and I will never join a union, be it the AMPTP, probably the DGA seems to be doing pretty well, so I might join them. Who knows if I become, a big famous director, although who knows? Who knows if I'll even make it that far. God, it is so frustrating. SAG and the AMPTP and the WGA and all of this crap. So, for those of you that don't know, obviously last week SAG went on strike. SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. There are a whole bunch of people who want to be part of this union. And yeah, the title of the video is I Hate Unions. And if you stick around, I give some sort of justification as to why we could use unions, but this whole thing is so damn frustrating, okay? Let me explain why. SAG cares about SAG. SAG doesn't necessarily care about SAG's members, okay? You just put 160,000 people out of work. You just got Emmy nominations, except that the SAG actors and actresses aren't allowed to campaign for the vote to get the Emmy. You just also put restrictions on, they can't even go to the awards show if the strike continues that far. And let me tell you, these studios with the CEOs that are saying that, like, they're not going to budge, they make $500 million a year. So how good is it on you to do a strike when you're putting 160,000 people out of work and they're still making their money? You're not affecting their lives at all. It's so frustrating because I understand that it's for a good cause, don't get me wrong. Like, I believe in what it is that they're fighting for, but the reality is you're looking for more money, and to do so, you have to put people out of work so that you can get a sign-off to get more money. It doesn't really make any sense to me. I also don't like the fact that everybody who's a non-union actor is being told by members of SAG, and by members, I mean like other actors who are members of SAG, that if they are now taking this opportunity to potentially get roles, since all of SAG is on strike, don't do that because you're a new actor. And if you take a role while SAG is on strike, then you could be blacklisted and not allowed to join SAG when the time arises because you were against us. And so, that like fear-mongering mentality. Listen, you chose to join a union, okay? Let your union duke it out. Don't take it out on the little guy. Less than 2% of SAG members are these Leo DiCaprio and all these other people. So for the rest of you that want to pay $3,000, yeah, that's the fee to get into SAG. It's $3,000 plus an additional $230 some odd dollars annual fees, plus 1.575%, up to $1 million per member times 160,000 members. Now, I know I'm shitting on unions pretty hardcore here, and I don't mean to, but I've filmed this video 3 times. I was going to react to a whole bunch of stuff, and it just seemed forced, and it seemed like bullshit, so I figured I would come on and just rant for, like, I don't know, maybe half an hour and cut it down to 5 minutes and cut out all the crap, my stumbles and mumbles, and I'll probably leave some of them in, to be quite frank and honest. But this is a load of crap. You have people that are working 2 and 3 and 4 jobs in Los Angeles and around the United States that are trying to become something more than what they currently are, and trying to break into an industry that already is the most brutal, cutthroat, ridiculous, crazy industry to be in. Let's say you're doing a biopic about Marilyn Monroe, and some brunette comes in who's a little bit either less curvy or more curvy than Marilyn Monroe. If you don't think that a casting director, even today in 2023, is going to look at you and go, I'm sorry, sweetie, you don't look like the part, get out. You're crazy. This stuff happens all the time. This business revolves around objectifying people and creating art, and if you're an artist and people are your paint that go on the canvas, which is the silver screen, you have to be a little bit cutthroat, or your painting is not going to come out the way that you want it to come out if you're the artist. But here's the problem. People are not paint, so they are able to have feelings about things that that they're allowed to get upset about things, is what I'm trying to say. So what am I upset about here? I'm upset that SAG as a union receives $36.8 million just in membership fees. It has nothing to do with the millions that they receive on actor pay, the 1.575% of revenue that the actors have to pay out of their pockets to enjoy the benefits like health insurance and being told when and where they can work or not. And it's incredibly frustrating because normally I would do like a podcast or I'd have an episode or I would invite one of my friends who's in SAG to come in and talk about the stuff, but they're not allowed to. They can't do any sort of promotion. They can't do any sort of social media posting. They can't do anything right now. They are frozen where they are because they're upset about people that are paying them not enough. Then the last thing I have to complain about is this self-tape bullshit, okay? It's 2023. I don't care who you are. In America, I'm not talking about third world countries. In America, if you don't have access to iPhones or a camera or someone with a camera or a friend down the street, when my grandfather was born in 1923, 100 years ago this year, on their street in Chicago where he lived, they had one telephone and they would wait in a line at the end of the street. The telephone that they had was on a telephone pole at the end of the street, and they would wait in line and take turns making phone calls all over wherever they had to, wherever their family was, New York, wherever it was, you know? That's where, now, right? We all have iPhones, we all have smartphones, we all have access to internet, Facebook, somewhere. I've even seen some public libraries that have a little camera on the computer that you can use. So this whole idea that actors don't have the capabilities to send in self-tapes. Hey, SAG, how about you provide an actor as one of these benefits for what do they get for $3,000 plus $200 and some odd dollars, $230 a year? What are you giving back to them besides health insurance? Like, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Health insurance is dope. Like, that's great. You need health insurance. It's very expensive, especially in a capitalist society like the U.S. where health insurance, if you don't have it, your hospital bills will go through the roof. I get that. And it's not a big political healthcare debate here. What I'm saying is, besides the health insurance and being told that you're not allowed to work or talk to anybody and you should blacklist anybody who wants to be in a film of any kind, what are you really giving to these people? And if your complaint is that actors shouldn't have to send in self-tapes because they don't have access to the equipment, you don't need a crazy setup. I've cast actors in films based on a cell phone tape, vertical cell phone selfie video. If the acting is good enough, it'll shine through. I don't want, quite frankly, someone to interpret the way that they would see the film being shot or any sort of crazy, outlandish self-tape. And their complaint is that, they get to meet other actors and everything. Join a Facebook group, okay? Join a Facebook group, get together. This is the biggest problem in society today, is that people are not talking to other people. Everything is done on social media and online. Why don't you just go out? It's not COVID anymore. Why don't you just go meet some people? I mean, this is friggin' ridiculous already. You know, you can't send in a self-tape. So now what you're saying is if you don't want people to send in self-tapes, you know what you're really doing is you're eliminating that kid in Kansas who just joined SAG, who thinks he can be an actor or whatever it is, or she thinks she can be an actor, but she can't make it all the way out to LA. You've now cut her off. If you eliminate self-tape sending in, you've now cut her off from being able, or him off from being able to send in a tape that's going to say, hey, I know you don't know me, but here's what I'm going to do for you and whatever, and my name is XYZ, I'm this tall. Hope you like it. Because not everybody can make it out to LA like you guys did. So don't they deserve a shot? Don't they deserve a chance? It's incredibly asinine, some of these things. Now, that's against SAG. Let's flip for a minute, because Bob Iger and all these other idiots out there who are saying a whole bunch of shit about these acting people and saying how it's disruptive to the industry and everything else. Let me tell you something, Bob. Your track record's not that great either right now, okay? The amount of crap that has come out of Disney and quite frankly all these other studios recently is abysmal, okay? So why don't you do this instead? Why don't you take this time that these actors are striking and instead of go sit on your pile of $480 million that you have or whatever it is, your $15 million a year salary that you're making while these people are waiters, waitresses, everything else, and also trying to act and support a family in some cases, because let's be honest, you would have no idea. You are so incredibly out of touch with reality, it would seem. You're portraying these actors as if they are a fly buzzing around your salad. They're disruptive. It's annoying you. Bro, you're out of your mind. You suggested to these people that you would photo scan background extras, pay them for a day, and then use their likeness in future projects in perpetuity. Now, here's the caveat here. If it said that, like, you're shooting a movie and you get a photo scan of 1,000 people and then you can only use their image for that movie, fine. That's fine. But that's not what you said, though, Bob. That's not what was said by the AMPTP. What they said was, we're going to scan you one time, pay you for a day worth of work. It's groundbreaking technology. That's like saying slavery is groundbreaking. We're going to use your image from now until forever. And it's groundbreaking how much money we're going to save. You fucking idiot. These less than 2% of SAG members are in that upper Oscar award-winning nominee, whatever it is, tier of actors. And that's not based on talent. That's just what it is. There's only one Leo DiCaprio. Sorry. I'm sure there are people out there who are joining SAG today. They have the talent of Leo DiCaprio, but they're not known yet, is what I'm saying. Less than 2% of actors have paparazzi following them. Out of 160,000 people, you're talking about less than 5,000 of these people, like around 3,200, maybe less, are considered famous out of 160,000 people. We got to figure out a better system, because, listen, my comments and frustrations are in favor of the people that have been working forever on trying to become an actor or an actress or whatever you want to call yourselves, a thespian, whatever it is, that just can't find their break. They can't seem to break through into this industry. I'm in favor of you guys. SAG is in favor of SAG because you give them $36.8 million a year plus 2% close to it of your income for health insurance. You're now out of work. I'm not saying to leave SAG or whatever. You do you. But you're fighting against people that are not hurting, and they're blaming you. So what do we do? Where do we go from here? You want more money. We get it. Everybody wants more money right now. It hurts. But I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know how long this is going to go on for. You can't do anything except walk in a line with a sign out front of these studios while they sit back. They're probably not even there. The heads of the studios aren't there. They're going to say, you know what? Nothing's being shot because the writers are on strike and the actors are on strike. So nothing's being done. We're going to send hundreds of thousands of crew members home without pay. It's not their fault. We're going to send them home, and we're going to go kick it on the yacht, smoke cigars, chill. We don't care. We don't give a shit. They're going to start caring when it affects them, and it won't affect them. They have enough money for it not to affect them for years. This situation is going to be absolutely detrimental to this industry. And quite frankly, it's very sad. I'm sure that this Friday coming up on the Movie Mob podcast that we do every Friday, 6 p.m., I'm sure we will talk about this more. But this definitely hits close to home, and it's for the members of SAG that I know. I support you, and I hope that you guys come to some sort of reasonable conclusion, both for yourselves and for everybody else involved. I'm sure it's incredibly difficult. I'm sure it's incredibly difficult to make these decisions that affect hundreds of thousands of people, but striking is so dangerous. And I'm not even saying that striking is the wrong move, but this is just crazy. I hope that these CEOs of these huge studios realize how hurtful they are being, but I also hope that SAG does something for its members, because if this goes on for months and months, and you have people that are just scraping by and can't afford to live, and you end up having more homeless people than you had before because of the strikes, I don't know. You're going to end up shooting yourself in the foot is what I'm saying. And this is an incredibly emotional time, right, for everybody involved. It's an incredibly emotional moment because they were asking for things that would set any normal person off. It's not like they were asking for like simple stuff like they would tell a chef to put their hair up so that it's not dripping into the food. You don't see like chef unions going on strike because they got to put their hair up. Like the stuff that they were asking for is completely unreasonable. I have a lot of friends in other unions as well that are in this industry that are now not working because when you don't have actors, you have nothing to shoot. The thing that really set me off was I saw another video where someone was saying, hey, listen, if you're a non-union actor and you are thinking about going and doing movies right now, you could be blacklisted, and then when the time comes, told that your money's not green and you can't become a member of SAG. How crazy is something like that? So is that really the right thing to do, is to ostracize somebody who's trying to feed their family? That's the craziest part, is like, it's so wild. This whole situation is so wild that I really don't even know what the right answer is. You know, what I do know is that the studios are greedy. That's not news. And it's been like this forever. This is not like the first year. 2023 is not the first year that they've been making hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, this isn't the first time that tons of money is going into Hollywood and that people are getting fucked over for it. The craziest part of the situation to me is the amount of people that are affected by the situation. It's never just the union that strikes that is involved. And so I hope that concessions are made on both sides and that an agreement will be reached. I admire the loyalty, to be honest with you. I admire the fact that, like, you know, the second the strike was announced, Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, and other members of the Oppenheimer cast, the second the strike was announced, they got up and walked out of their own premiere, of the biggest movie of 2023 potentially. Oh man, I feel bad. I feel bad for the 98% of actors who are trying so hard just to get a shot, that are now being told that they can't do anything. Nothing. The industry as a whole is at a standstill right now. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below and try and get this video out as soon as possible. Thanks for listening to me rant for however long this video ends up being, and I apologize if it ends up being longer than it should, but this is just crazy. Like, subscribe, or whatever.